Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Wakers, pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance of West resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Deanest Nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in disguise. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. To reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined where was next. Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right. This is, oh shit, let me get this thing right. And you are Under the Groove. Welcome to Under the Groove Podcast, everybody. Here we are. Let's do what we do. I want to say a glorious happy Monday to everyone. May your day, as far as this day goes, being everything you plan for it to be. If not, there's still time on the clock to make it right. Get with it. Make it happen, y'all. End the day as you see fit. That being said, hey, I had a long week in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I take that time, I spend it with my baby, you know. I spend it around the home, around family. You know, I do those things that I think are imperative that are needed to do. I set priority in perspective. So that's why when I say to you guys, when you don't come in or we don't see you throughout the week, hey man, don't hold that against yourselves, man. You know, priority is necessary. You know, our lives must be prioritized. Otherwise, you know, we'll be caught up in somebody else's bull crap and it ain't gonna amount to jack. All right. That being said, here we are. Here I am, and there you are. This is Touching Bases with the People again, Under the Groove Podcast. Welcome, everyone. Peace and prosperity, each and every one of you. Let's get it in, man. Let's get it in. I tell you, it was a long Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for me because actually what I did is throughout those 3 days, I absorbed a whole lot. I absorbed a whole lot. Trust me when I tell you that. From religion on up or down, from this end to that, you know, I've dealt with it all. One of the things that's set or that is still, you know, most important on my mind is this issue that concerns the people in terms of our vote. You know, there are a lot of our brothers and sisters coming out, FBAs and otherwise, Black Americans, African Americans, saying, hey, wait a minute, y'all messing up, y'all tripping. The vote, the vote, the vote, the vote. I don't, you know, I, like others, don't necessarily think that the vote is all that is cracked up to be. I have to say that. I have to say that. And not only do I have to say, I say it for a reason. Part of that reason is that for all that we do in terms of the vote, I like for some of us to point to something that the vote has dispensed to us, given to us, that we can point to and say, this is as a result of our vote, you know? And I would like for you to not only say that, but point to it right now. Right now. in our communities. I don't care what black community you come from, all right? What state in the union it is, point to where that vote has manifested something, has brought to fruition something that improves the plight of the people. Please talk about it. See, it's one thing to say, hey, man, the vote matters, the vote counts. But then there's another to say, or that says, okay, we've been doing this for how long? For how long? And as a result of how long we've been doing it, what can we show for to where our vote really means something? It pans out. It pans out. That's a big issue to me. And I'm sure, and I can say with confidence, with a lot of us, Black Americans, FBAs, or however you want to label yourselves, I think that, man, we have fallen into this trick, and this trap that voting actually means something to us as a people. What it has done, though, and we can't deny this, is that our vote has served others more than it has served us. Now, if anybody is in disagreement, please, by all means, jump in the comments and say that. Say that. But we need to get off this bandwagon that, is going about this role and is representing this thing as though votes or our votes have done something to us, or have done something for us that we can, man, without a doubt say this, that, and the third is something we can, to this day, 2026, point to and say have served us. Give me a description. Give me something. Our politicians to this day will talk about our votes. They'll campaign for our votes. They'll garner our votes. And what they do with them does not serve us. It serves our votes, serve other people. Facts. These people have thrived off of our participation in the system that gives a jack about any of us, all right? It has served others more than it serves us. Again, if I'm wrong, man, put it in the chat. Let me know where I'm wrong at. Give me some insight. Lace me. Lace those of us who beg to differ in terms of what the vote has actually done for the people, Black people in our communities. And those votes in our communities don't even serve us because most of us are not even there anymore. Most of our communities have been usurped or taken over by immigrants and others. We're not even there like that anymore. We see more development and improvement in our communities based upon gentrification more than our votes can ever do for us, or that our votes have done for us. Come on, man, let's be realistic. You want to talk about, oh, they're suppressing the vote. Hey, man, fuck that. Y'all, hey, man, the vote is just the ass end of it. What about the suppression of other things? Equality, equity, citizenship, human rights. Fuck a civil right. Let's talk about human rights. Where has the vote done any good to us? This is 2026. We've been dealing with voting issues and all those things that matter, especially in a white supremacist, construct, that hasn't done anything for us. We forget that our best times, the times that really highlighted our development, our excellence, things of that nature, was when segregation was in place, when they denied us the vote altogether. It's like, damn, when we didn't have the vote, we done a hell of a lot better than we're doing with the vote. Man, help make this shit make sense. Make this shit make sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I said this Thursday, they want the people to rise up now. Black folks to get off the couch and get involved. For what? What are we going to get as a result of that, other than getting our heads bashed in, being arrested? A lot of us don't have criminal records, but that's that's the objective. If you really look past the BS that's put in front of us, it is to felonize or criminalize each and every one of us. And in that way, they deprive us of the vote, But again, damn the vote. Everything that goes on before that, let's deal with that. The vote is the ass end of it, man. And our people, for whatever reason, man, they're buying into this bull crap about the vote making us inclusive. That's not the reality. That's not the reality, man. And we're stuck on stupid. Again, this is just another distraction. There's so many distractions placed before us to where, man, we can't see the forest for the trees. We go and we utilize our vote. We put it into effect. And as a result, right, those who get our vote, guess what they do with it? They go help any and everybody else but us. But us. And these same individuals who we use the vote to elect into political power, who we put in these seats of power from the, in Congress, man, they go and do the bidding of foreign interests rather than the interests of the blacks who they pandered the votes for. Come on, man, make this shit make sense. I had a brother, there's a brother, and I subscribe to this brother's channel, Afro Think Tank. He went in last Thursday and he dropped some content talking about those of us who talk bad about the vote, so to speak. We are being weak. We're weak intelligently, and we're lazy because we don't see beyond, or we don't see how the vote affects us or how it serves us. And we're saying, wait a minute, man, you're missing the point. We're saying exactly that. Our vote, hey, man, let's go back. 1965 is just when the Voting Rights Act was supposed to be etched in granite to where it could not be removed, touched, or manipulated, right? We've learned that in the last 2 weeks or so. The Supreme Court has decided that, hey, man, that ain't etched in stone like y'all thought it was. There's so many loopholes that we can come in there and nullify your vote. We could put into place people to represent your districts who aren't of you or about you. You know what I mean? Come on, man. But the shit goes back further than that. Let's go back to the Emancipation Proclamation. Let's go back to Reconstruction. Let's go back to Jim Crow. Let's go back to the Black Code. All that shit was established. A vote wasn't even regulated. However, the vote does go back to like the 19th century, even the 18th century. But it never applied to us because in those times, the 14th, 13th Amendment did not refer to us. We were disregarded as a people. We were still considered a chattel. Chattel. In other words, we were beasts of burden. We had no rights, to, exercise as human beings. We had no vote to exercise our thought processes in terms of trying to change the political landscape in our favor or just to include us. See, man, hey, man, this shit is whack, man. It's whack. So when we start to talk about those of us who understand that the vote has done nothing for us, when we start to speak out about it, then we get these individuals from our collective, the melanated, who say, hey, man, you tripping. You're going against the grain. Votes, man, votes matter, man. That's all we got. No, we say bullshit. That's not all we got. But that's all y'all have latched on to. What we have in our favor, if we would just focus on the focus, is the fact that, hey, man, if we don't participate in this shit, so be it. You can see, it's no different than participating. You're getting nothing from it. You get nothing from it when you participate in it. How's that any different from not participating in it? You know? So the suggestion is, hey man, just separate. Extract ourselves from the matrix. Brothers and sisters, kings and queens, gods and goddesses have the wherewithal, man, to say, hey, you know what? We got these minds like nobody else, man. You know, we understand the formula of the universe. It's etched in us. It's inherent in us. So therefore, we can create whatever is needed for us to, do better, prosper, excel, aside from or away from, not a part as of what's already in place. What's already in place does not serve us. Period. I don't care how many amendments have been revised or placed into the Constitution. The fact of the matter, if you look at the original writing and construct of the Constitution, even after the fact of amendments being placed in there to take out, not necessarily take out because they still exist, but to add to, or bring into play certain rights to those of us who are not of that ilk, right? Give us, this frame of thought or this mindset that, oh, we're included or we're inclusive in this. It's all bull crap. The fact of the matter is, man, this shit was not constructed for us. This system was based upon white supremacy. That's it. That's all. No matter what we tend to think in terms of how the vote would change that, it won't happen. It won't happen. That's not the way it's going to work, man. That's not the way it's designed. We had no say in slavery. We had no say in that, right? That changed. There were amendments made. Laws were changed, just to include us. Why? Why? It was done, man, to keep the state from imploding on itself, to keep the union from imploding on itself. So certain things were put into effect to make it as though, hey, man, there was a compromise. Let's put it like that. All right. But the basis, the fact of the matter remains, we were not designed or we were not included in the original construct of this Constitution. Period, point blank. So that being said, after the Emancipation Proclamation, we supposedly have a choice or had a choice, right? And when that happened, we come to find out that really didn't matter because now, boom, Jim Crow, the Black Code, all these other things were put in place to, boom, knock us down. Not one boom, but boom, 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 boom. 3-4 steps backwards. All right. Segregation was the theme. And it still is. We just don't understand it just yet. But when that occurred, guess what we did? We rose above the occasion. They saw like, damn, that wasn't the script. That don't stop them. What do? Okay, let's make it seem like it's all inclusive. Let's integrate them. Let's take them away from their studies. Let's take them away from their teachings and traditions. Let's take them away from what they know to be the correct way to go and include them in this process, or make them think that they're included in this process. That's the reality. That's what occurred. While at the same time, we gained nothing as a result of being included in the process. Integration was a bigger trap than segregation. We did better in segregation than we do, or we're doing now, as being integrated into the system. There's no benefit. Listen, man, there's no benefit. All right? There's no benefit. We fail to realize that, hey, man, our best, our endeavors, man, are best worked out and seen or come. We do better, man, actually being just, excluded from the get out. We've done better. We've done better. History says it. History said that. Bub don't say it. Those who think like Bub or those who Bub think like does not say that. History says that. When we were excluded, hey, man, we did the damn thing. All right. We got it done. And we were in ownership of our get down. There was a certain autonomy in place that allowed us, not that allowed us, that granted us this leeway to grow, to excel as a result of segregation. They installed integration. And as a result of integration, we devolved. We've devolved. We have devolved. Because we want to play this role, man. We want to assimilate. It's like we want to be what they are. You know what I'm saying? And that, I'm telling you, man, that's the problem. That is what's doing harm to us. We want to be like them. And though we always saying this, a lot of us say it all the time. They want to be like us. No, man. In reality, we're so caught up in this shit, man, that we want to be more like them than they want to be like us. We want to be accepted. We want to be approved. You know, we want to be recognized by these people. Hey, man, that's a problem. That's a problem. That is a problem. We want to vote. For what? For what? And again, man, voting, this issue of voting has been around since the 18th century, since 1780 something. Here we are in 2026, and we're still struggling to be enfranchised in this system. God dang, man, if that don't tell us something, I don't know what else will. That means, man, that it's not made for us. 2026, 21st century, and we're still struggling just so that our vote matters? Come on, y'all. Get out of this shit, man. So the talk around the town is it may be best if we separated ourselves from this system. Disconnect, man. They said, well, Bub, and those who think like you are, you think like those who do. What is the solution? I'm telling you, man, there's no problem that we can't solve. There's no problem that we as a people, unified, cannot solve. One of the solutions to this problem of wanting to be a part of something that does not want us to be a part of it is to do our own thizzle, man. Now, what's the problem with that? A lot of blacks will say, oh, man, that's too much work. Oh, man, yeah, crying and complaining. They're seeing the sacrifice that has to be made to make this move. They don't have the heart for it. So they rather continue to go through these issues, these battles, these wars with these people who don't want us to be a part of their get down. Little do either side know that without us, the shit won't succeed. You know? So what we supposed to do then? We're supposed to take our wherewithal, our get down, our dollars, and separate ourselves and let them fend for themselves. We keep this shit up and running. How the hell we don't see that? How the hell do we think that a vote is the be all to end all? It is not. It's not. It's not, man. How we succeed is doing our own thing. Again, history shows it. There are facts based upon that. When we do our thing, can't nobody compare, man. There's no comparison. And everything else fails when we separate from it. That's our objective. Well, that should be our objective. But we got too many of us who think that, hey, man, we got to be inclusive. We got to go along with this program. We have to assimilate. We have to take into account that their system is the one that's making everything happen. And little do they know, a lot of us don't realize that that's not happening because of that. It happens because of us. Damn, man. Damn. Yeah, I've been man festering in this for 3 days. You know, imagine, if you will, if you can, how many other brothers and sisters have had these same thought processes. We the shit, but we won't acknowledge us as being as such because we're caught up in what others are saying about us, our weaknesses, or how we need them to keep us propped up and going. We need to be a part of this system in order to excel and be be all that we can be. The system provides all this to us and for us. That's bull crap, man. That's bull crap. And again, I challenge anyone, point to something that our vote, this is 2026. Go to any one of these black communities and show us, give us the receipts to where our votes have produced for us something beneficial, something that has brought us into this process to where, those who oppose us, our enemies, acknowledge and confirm that we can't do nothing about it. They're too strong. And come on, y'all. This shit is crazy. This is crazy that we would attack each other. And again, divide and rule, divide and conquer. There are too many of us, man, attached to this process of this system, thinking that we can't get nothing done. We cannot accomplish anything without them. We fail to realize that they don't get nothing done without us. That's the problem. I say, damn the vote. I say, damn their system, because again, it's not designed. It was not constructed. Its inception does not concern or involve us. It was established and created for the rich, for the haves, not the have-nots. You guys thinking that shit, since this shit started, it changed over the centuries? It has not. It's their playbook. You guys thinking that you're going to come in and redirect, reconstruct, recreate their playbook? Come on, man. Come on, man. I think that is weak intellectual thinking. That's being lazy in terms of understanding or acknowledging that that's not the way to go about this, man. But we tend to settle. We tend to settle, don't we? We settle. Come on, man. We got to get out of that mindset. The way to change this thing is to create our own thing. And this is what they've been fighting against. See, some of what they do is in that perspective. Again, there's so many distractions created to keep us off balance to where we don't think and say to ourselves as a unit, we don't need that. Let's do our thing. Let's do us. A lot of what goes on prevents us. It goes on for a reason. It goes on to prevent us from thinking in that fashion. Us first. So many distractions, man. We're in a system, like I said, man, that is not designed to serve us the same way it's designed to serve them. And the them are those who are the rich. Now, okay, we're in 2026. Who are the rich? Who are we talking about? Who make the laws, y'all? Who go after the laws that would tend to or attempt to include us? Who are those people that knock down that shit, that attack that shit, that go at war for that shit to not exist? Who are they? You think they're Republicans and Democrats? Yeah, they're both. But they aren't even them. It's the 1 to the 10%. Those who have everything, they're the ones who make the laws. They're the ones who decide who are included, who will be included, and who will not be. Politicians is just a front. The vote is a front. Again, our people have been voting, man, and man, voting and really standing behind, what they think that vote represents, and have received nothing as a result of it. So anytime you tend to think, or we tend to think we're getting some leeway based upon the vote, guess what? Those who have the money, those corporations, and again, let's hurry up and throw in here, this country, this so-called government is nothing but a corporation. Come on, y'all. So the corporation decides what will be and what won't be. What will be and what won't be. Your vote don't decide that, man. Some say, well, it don't attain to the electoral vote or the presidential vote. Yeah, right. Yeah. A little bit, they paint that picture that it does. The electoral vote is decided by how many votes and demographic that come and, boom, support that, whatever. You get the electoral vote based on that. But the reality is the politics of this country, the laws that are established by this country's government are done, are enacted, are put in place by those who have everything. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping. We tripping. We on some bullshit. We on some bullshit to think that our vote would overcome those who run the country. We on some bullshit, man. And we got to get out of that mind state. That's what a lot of blacks are saying. That's what a lot of our people are saying. We stuck on stupid. We're allowing ourselves to be bamboozled, to be led astray. We participate in this farce. The best thing for us is to separate from this system. And it's guaranteed. You guys, a lot of you guys trust AI, right? Go and ask them, what would happen to this country if blacks unplugged? They need us, man. But for some reason, somehow we've been led to think and believe that we need them to be a part of this thing called the politic, the body politic. It's some bull crap, man. So anyway, our brother, Afro Think Tank, went in, and he went in on brothers and sisters. I hate that he did it. I've had a long 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to think about a lot of things. He's not the only one I've sat down and thought, in length of, in terms of what they've said. Charleston White is another. This shit is crazy, man. Our celebrities, our athletes, our others, our so-called boule and gatekeepers, they're all, it's hard to see for a lot of us, discern for a lot of us. But then again, there's a lot of us who see the big picture, and we got our paints ready, man. We want to repaint it. We want to paint the canvas. We want to paint the truth of the picture. That's what it boils down to, and until we do that and we make it so, we paint the full picture, until we do that, brothers and sisters are not going to see what it looks like, what it really is. The picture has been, from outside forces. The picture being painted has been, there's a distraction in place. Put it like that. We haven't been able to put the colors to the canvas to make this shit to expose what this shit really is, because there's so much going on. This shit is about them and money, control, power. That shit don't got nothing to do with us, y'all. It doesn't. They know better than we do that, we're the power that they have to succumb to. And the only way to keep that from occurring is to continue to paint for us these pictures we see about them being dominant in everything, or us having to participate in the system, you know, systemic system of white superiority and racism as the only way for us to get through or make it through. We got to jump through these hoops. That shit's some crap, man. It's crap. All right. So I have that clip. I'm gonna drop that clip, man. But for right now, I'm gonna jump in these comments like we do, and touch bases with the people, man. This is Monday's motivation and messaging. Let's get it in, man. This is Under the Groove podcast, man, and we are touching bases with the people as we should be. All right. B60 and what to do, loved one. He said, greetings and salutations to you, bub, and the RGC B1 Black First. Our votes, as many as votes that are cast or that will be cast, does not pan out to us realizing our votes actually do something for us. You know what I mean? In other words, no one can say that there's a benefit that we see, not just immediately, but even after months and years as a result of our vote. We get nothing as a result of it. It seems that others get it before us. So we vote people into, seats of power. We place them in the halls of power. What they do is go, as a result of us putting them there, and cast their votes to serve these other people, these other foreign interests, or white supremacist interests over ours. This shit don't pan out, man. It don't do nothing for us. But again, man, B6 man, likewise, bro. Peace and prosperity to you and the fam, bro. Henry Sadello said, man, peace and blessings, brother Bub, and the intellect and the intelligent chat. Always a pleasure to meet up with all and mentally build together. That's the thing. They're not trying to see that happen, man. This is why we see ourselves being bombarded with so much bull crap. So many different streams and just cases of propaganda, narratives. It's all done, man, to keep us off kilter, off balance, to keep the equilibrium off. We're the only ones who don't get what our purpose is really about. We're the only ones. That says a lot, man. Appreciate you in here, Henry. Appreciate your intelligence, brother. Quinn and Zinga say, man, Monday motivation to the RGC. I trust everyone has had a wonderful weekend. B1, Black First, y'all. Black First. I'm telling you, we can't say that enough, man. I see you, Fat Rat Playboy. He say, peace to you and the RGC, Big Bub. Right back to you, Fat Rat. Love and prosperity to you, bro. Sincerely, man. From me to you, may everything be everything, man. You own it like you say you are. Do the damn thing, man. Do the damn thing. My question is, when we gonna do it together? When we gonna set a lot of these distractions just to the side? We're not saying disconnect from them, because a lot of us have connections to them. I don't have to be specific in terms of what I'm talking about. We know. What's the issue or the problem with saying, okay, this is my thing, but yeah, I should be of the mindset, or I should have the free will to say, this is my thing. I'm not disregarding this, separating stuff. I'm gonna set it right here because I want to interact with my people, because my people may not see it like I see it or be a part of what I'm a part of, but let me connect with my people. Let me see what can be accomplished as a result of that. This is what we have to work towards, man. We have to work towards that shit, because if we don't, we're going to always have these issues that continue to divide us. They will always exist. If we're not putting us first, those issues will persist to be the barricade, the wall that separates us in terms of unity and getting some real shit done, man. But anyway, man, peace and prosperity to you, brother Fat Rat. Love that you here. Sam Evans said, Bub, man, all that marching and protesting just to put on a sticker saying I voted backwards saying I voted is backwards logic. Again, man, look, damn, man, how we don't see this shit? How we don't see this the same shit? It's a reoccurring theme throughout the decades, man. What has changed? What has changed? That's all I have to ask for those who think the vote matters. If the vote matters, point to us what has changed. Can any of us go to any respective our communities and say, hey, man, this is what voting brought to the people? And I have to say, to the black people, to the black vote, to those individuals who cast that vote to bring this change, this improvement, this empowerment to the communities. Where, man? Where? Oh, yeah. We got a lot of nonprofits and shit, people who work with other people who ain't really about us or support us. You know, it's part of the game, man, that say this, that, and the third about the vote. But can any of them point to something concrete, substantial, that exists in the community for the betterment of the black people who cast their votes for this system, man? How many Crip gangs are there? How many blood gangs are there? How many communities that aren't involved in gangs have, let's say, STM facilities? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, these facilities in their community. How many sponsor after school programs 24/7 if need be, or 7 days a week? After school programs, they exist, these facilities, these buildings that are teaching, excuse me, that are providing educational means that would empower the people. How many of these what we see springing up in each and every one of these communities, these new housing projects? We see more gentrification occurring than we see projects occurring that serve the people in these areas that gentrification is trying to eradicate or remove. Talk to me, man. For real. For real. Come on, man. We on some bullshit. How many of these communities, individuals from these communities can go and say, this is my community 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it hasn't changed. It's here and it serves the people. How many? Come on, man. This is not rocket science, man. This is us being bamboozled, man, and led astray. This is us serving, the agenda of someone other than ourselves, man. For real. That's what it boils down to. I can't go on Hoover Street, Normandy, Vermont, Hoover, Figueroa, Broadway, and see any new edifice or facade building being built, and there is a black ownership connected to it. For real. I can't go in our community and find any 7-Eleven, Arco gas station, or anything else that is attached to the black community, man. What are y'all talking about, man? Come on, man. Yeah, man, I don't know everything, but I ain't no fool either, man. I see it for what it is, man. And I think that that is only possible because there are some things I won't let infiltrate my mindset or distract me from what the fuck is really going on. Straight up. I don't care what set you from. What part of Los Angeles? Man, fuck just Los Angeles. Man, anywhere in this country where blacks exist and have been existing, where we have ownership, to where our votes have metastasis, have brought into fruition shit that we run. Get the fuck out of here, man. Quit playing, y'all. We on some bullshit. And I have to say that. I have to say that. We're being moved out. We're being disenfranchised. Okay, where are we being moved to? Who are the enfranchised now? In our communities, who are they? They ain't us. But our votes. They pander for our votes. For what? Come on, man. We have a black mayor. Y'all better do y'all homework, man. One thing I can say about me, I do my homework. I do my homework, man. I do my research. And I understand, man, that a lot of our so-called politicians do not have our best interests at heart. They don't. That's not hard to see. But they'll bring into our communities a lot of funds for nonprofits. Amen. There's something to that. There's something attached to each and every one of them. Each and every one of them. And each and every one of them do not bring empowerment, black ownership to the community. Do your homework. You ain't got to take my word for it, man. We're just talking about a grift, a hustle on a whole nother level. You know, real spit, man. You know, and I say that respectfully because I know that there are some nonprofits that want to do the work for the people, but they've been hindered. They're being hindered, and that only comes as a result of them getting at the government, you know, creating these nonprofits, not realizing that, amen, for real, when it's all said and done, or at the core of it, you have to abide by those who provide the money. You have to do what they, you know, no different than churches. Our churches are no longer our churches. They're encumbered, man, to do what that 5013C3 dictates. They're not there, man, to lead the people to the promised land no more, man. They're not there, man, to make sure that the community is educated, not just in religion of Jesus Christ or God, but in terms of dignity, man, identity, heritage, respect, you know, prosperity. Y'all, come on, man. This shit, goddamn, I've been waiting 3 days, man, to say what's been on my chest, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. There are a lot of us who say the same thing, who say the same things, not being heard. And that's only because there's this thing in play called divide and rule, divide and conquer. There are a lot of things put before us that on the front, on the face of it, they look good. They look like they're viable, you know, programs, things of that nature to improve or to, you know, enhance the community. When in reality, that's not the case. We have people in our community, man, they're not seen, but they're there. There's an individual from the General Consulate of Israel that rub elbows with every, and I'm talking about Los Angeles specifically, as well as Atlanta, Georgia, that rub elbows with these so-called non-profits who are, you know, supported and sponsored by, you know, the Israeli lobby. And come on, man, we got to see the big picture, man. Our best interest is not at their, you know, at the core of their get out. You say the right shit. That's one thing, man. But what you're doing is a totally different thing. They are in cahoots with the industries, man. The industry, you name it, that industry, yeah. They're locked in with them. They're a part of them. It's all the same system. We tend to think, though, that, nah, man, it ain't that, man. They legit. They this, they no, man, they're not. They're not. They'll come to our communities and they'll say, oh man, this community we need to help this community thrive, to do better, da, 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 da. And they'll talk that same talk for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30 years. But when you go to their communities, what do they look like? What's manifested there? Come on, man. Y'all, come on, man. This is some bullshit. This is bullshit. Lonzo said, man, peace to the God, peace to the RGC and you, Bub, and your family. I hope everyone is well. We're as well as to be expected, all right? Everything is everything on this scene, homie. You know, we have our home front. We do what we do here, you know? Whatever issues, yeah, man, we front and center. Put it like that, you know what I mean? And this is the way we supposed to be, man. All families, all Black families. No matter what the struggle is, no matter what is being put in front of us, we got to know that we are in a fight. Fuck a struggle. We're at war. And we got to see the bigger picture, man. We stuck on stupid. I promise you, we are stuck on stupid. But not here. Not at this homestead. We discuss it all. We discuss it all, you know? So we're good, man, and we want to send or reciprocate to you and yours, Alonzo, the best of the best. Peace and prosperity, man. You know, some dignity applied to all that, man, as well as identity, you know, heritage, history, you know, and a desire, you know, to push for what's right and what's best for us. Damn everybody else, man. Because everybody else is not concerned with our well-being. So there that is. Lisa Moore, man, she up in the house, y'all. She said, peace and blessings, Brother Bub. Hope your weekend went well. Love and peace to the RGC. Be one Black first, man. We send ours right back to you, Lisa Moore. We love you, sister. Our queen, our goddess is in the house. Hey, peace and prosperity to you and yours. You know, I hope you're catching on to what I'm dropping. You're picking up what I'm dropping. I think these are gems and jewels, man, and I'm not the only one doing this. We haven't researched enough. We don't go look deep enough to find those gems and jewels that are being spreaded about, man, for us to get. You know, this is our wealth, man. We got to pick it up, man, and use that wealth, spend it, man, to our well-being. We're not doing that, but it's a pleasure to see you in here, sister. Hey, focus on the focus, all right? It's an honor. All right, Hawaii. There you go. I see you, Snipe. Tell me, man, have I said anything wrong just yet? Let me know, bro. Have I said anything that's out of line or disrespectful? Ain't on point. Break that shit down for me, loved one. From a Hoover to a Hoover. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Fat Rat, man, hey, but it takes us, you know, I think, here's the thing. I appreciate that, Fat Rat, first and foremost. You know, you say you teaching, bub. We teach, right? We teach. We teach, man. Each one reach one, each one teach one, y'all. Just the business, man. And if we not doing that, we lacking. That means then we're not being educated. And the only way to educate us, I think, is through and from one another. We have the truth within us. We have the truth. It's in our shit, man. And this is why I say, man, you can't give us shit. We already got it. When I say, or when it said power is in the people, hey, man, that's some solid shit. That, hey, man, that's as solid as it get. You cannot give power to the people. It's already been done, man. For those of you who worship and believe what you know, you got to acknowledge that it's been said, or you, hey, it was already given. It was already dispensed to you. It's in your blood, man. It's in your DNA. It comes from the ancestors who got it first. The power already exists in us, man. You can't give us jack. And I mean that shit. I swear I mean it, man. Anybody outside of us can't give us jack in terms of our power. You know, what exists in us to make our lives, our existence, our purpose worth the while. Yeah, our lives, our existence, and our purpose. There's a process there. We already have the tools. We've already been imbibed, anointed with this power. Can't nobody give us jack, man. We got to make this shit. We got to bring this shit up and out. And until we do, man, this is what we in. That's the punishment, if you ask me. We've been punished because we ain't got the wherewithal to realize we got the power, man, to change every bit of what we're going through. Not only us, but the world. See, because I think it's our responsibility to serve them after the fact. We got to get together, man, before we can help anybody else. But the power already exists. We just ain't willing, man, to tap into it. We willing to listen to bullshit that's been passed down by generations or through the generations. We got bullshit in the mix that's been around for thousands of years. And rather than us go and tap into the real source, because it's in us, we got the God gene. And amen, if anybody disagree, please light into the comments and say that. Like, Bub, you got it wrong. No, we don't got the God gene. God ain't anointed us, ain't blessed us with nothing. Tell me. Speak on this shit, man. Fact of the matter is, man, we have the God gene. But we don't realize it. And so there are other people who realize it better than us, and they'll sit up and usurp our righteous place. Because we ain't aware. We ain't aware that we possess the power already. Can't no one, no government, no vote, none of that give us that, man. We possess it. It's ours. We already have it. This is what we up against, man. Realizing, man, what we got as opposed to what we think or what we come to believe what's needed to be given to us. That's some bullshit, man. That's some bullshit. Every day we see bullshit. Every day. I'm telling you, man, I got loved ones, man, involved in this bullshit, and it hurts my heart. And one thing about it, man, I say this about brothers and sisters often. It's been said by others about brothers and sisters often, young and old. Man, ain't nobody like us, man. We are the most intelligent human being on the face of this planet. Bar none, hands down. No one can compare to us. However, we've allowed ourselves to remain in this position because we won't tap into the source. Because we want to add extra shit to the source. We want to, convolute, we want to make the shit complicated with this other shit, man. When all we have to do is preach to one another about the source being within us. Miss the other shit, man. We're not willing to just not only ignite our own sparks, but we don't want to ignite the sparks of our brothers and sisters, kings and queens, our gods and goddesses to get us out this situation. Can't nobody give us jack, man. Can't nobody give us nothing. Trust that. A vote or nothing else. A dollar, nothing. That's on us. And this is what we fail to realize, man. We're allowing ourselves to be played. And what all the shit they're going after, man, is frivol, man. It's frivol. It doesn't even compare to the ultimate prize or reward. You dig? Ain't got nothing to do with that, man. Nothing. Nothing. That's how bad this shit is, man. We don't see our worth. We don't see our purpose. Because others have instilled in us that they have a greater worth than us, that their purpose is greater than ours, and we ain't shit unless we follow suit with their get down. That's where we go wrong at, man. Fuck that. I'm telling y'all, man. And again, I'm just one of many millions. And you got to know, if it's 42 to 47 to 49 million of us, Black Americans, you can call yourself FBA, African American, Black, I don't give a fuck. Those who have been here, right? Know the business, man. There got to be at least, man, there got to be like over 10 million of us, man. Now, why the hell we haven't brought this shit? Why we haven't coalesced, brought this shit together? What's the problem? And stop blaming on them people. It's because we refuse to acknowledge what the purpose is really about. Our purpose is really about. We've convoluted it. Our purpose. This is why we stagnant. We don't have no unity, no purpose. We made this shit more complicated than is necessary. And we've only done that because of what's been fed to us. This shit that's bombarding us every day, all day, every day. Come on, man. Focus on the focus, man. Focus on the focus. Hot lead hurts. He said the Amish don't fuck with no one. They up. The Amish living a different life, you know. You know, they don't involve themselves with propaganda, narratives, technology, you know, governments. You know, they do their damn thing, you know. So, yeah, give them credit. You know, give them credit. But you have to acknowledge, even we're talking about the Amish, man, you know, hey, what about us? Where are we in the thick of things, man? How is it that we don't have our shit together where the government can't affect nothing we're about, nothing we do, or our purpose? How are we sitting up harping on votes, or a vote being taken or given to us by a white supremacist construct? Come on, man, we don't see this shit. We tripping off some shit that they devised for them. And we're all up in arms because they want to take it back. It's theirs. That's their shit. Come on, man. Make this shit make sense, man. Man, peace to the Amish, man. Peace to the Amish by doing their thing, staying separated from the bull crap. Alonzo said, man, I think voting locally is important, bub. Okay, if you think so, I'm, you know, hey. Again, all I have to say is this. If that is the case, if voting locally is important, show me where it pans out. Show me where it benefits the people. Other than voting somebody in the office who may look like us, show me how that vote, who got that person into the seat of power, has panned out for the community that voted to get that person there. What do we have to show for? What are the receipts, man? If it's important, then it should be, there should be some, where are the receipts in terms of how important it's been? Brothers are still being lynched, right? 2026, right? The vote is still suspect in terms of being being applied to black people, right? Systemic racism still exists, right? Institutional racism still exists, right? Right? We might not admit it, but redlining still exists, right? Miseducation still exists. Economics, in terms of how, you know, black people, you know, get the thing done in the community or in the country, still exists, right? The funny part is, yeah, that might be so, but we still generate $1.8 to $2 trillion annually, and we ain't done nothing with it. You tell me how voting locally actually helps us when we don't got the wherewithal or the knowledge. Our politicians have not told us that, hey, man, We got more money than the country annually. We have more money, but we spend it on bull crap. We keep this country going. How does voting locally benefit us, man? I just need to know. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know, man. Now go to the community you come from and you tell me, you present to us, fuck telling me anything. Present to the people receipts that show without a doubt how voting has improved our lives in our communities. Please show me that. Please. I challenge any of y'all. I challenge any one of you. Shit, man. All right. Poke, man, what it do, loved one? He said, what it do, bub, man? At UTG, Black Excellency, Excellency, excuse me, y'all, is what they call it. And salute to the kings and queens in the RGC. Focus on the focus, man. That's all I'm asking. That's all we're asking. That's all we should ask of ourselves. Focus on the focus, man. Focus on that which actually brings us progression. When, where, how does the vote bring us any of that? Yeah. Come on, y'all. This man, shit. Lonzo say, man, if we can vote in locally, the people that we want, not the people selling us out, I think that's important. Local city council, DA, mayor, if we voted locally for people we choose, I think that's important. Where you been, man? And respectfully, I say this, Alonzo, where you been, man? We haven't been doing that. We haven't been doing that. Mayor Karen Bass, Black woman. How has that panned out for us? DA, blacks voted in first. Well, Cock is in there now, and I think that's his name. But before him, they had a DA that was in there. He laxed the laws, you know. But I think it was a setup. He laxed laws. Brothers got out there and acted a little wilder than they needed to or should have or had been doing. And then Cock, I think that's his name, comes in. He went, hey, you know, I don't know if we voted for him or not, but we make the votes. We vote. We vote. Right? We vote. That's the thing. See, we can't deny that we don't vote. It's just that a lot of people want us to vote more. For what? For what? What are we voting more for? We vote to get people in office, into the seats of power, the halls of power. What do we get? Karen Bass is a black woman, man. What are receipts, man? For them votes that went towards her. And them votes went towards her because those in the community, black votes, say, hey, man, we want something in our community that serves us. What are receipts, man? And again, man, respectfully, I'm not talking about no nonprofits making way for nonprofits to get more money to do whatever they do with the money, man, because again, I do not see that being productive to the community. I just don't, you know. And again, I say that respectfully. I'm not taking no shots at nobody, man. I'm just saying what it is. All right. City council person, people, assembly people, where does the votes pan out? Where are the receipts to where those votes to get them people in the seats of power, the halls of power, have done something for us? Hey, man, hey, I'm just saying, bro. Point it out. We need to know these things. We should know these things so that we support those who actually are doing the work for the people. Black first. You know, not these politicians who get our votes, they get in office, and then they serve everybody. You know, this is that salad bowl, this melting pot. But wait a minute, man, blacks have been in this position for decades. When will one of these politicians, mayor, council person, assembly person, congressperson, senator, will say, hey, wait a minute, man, blacks have been, man, they've been serving us, man. They've been dropping these votes on us, man. They've been getting, and damn, the communities look the same from 30 years ago, 40 years ago. There's no improvement. You know, instead of taking these votes and building those black communities as a result of getting these votes from them no longer resemble the people who voted for us. Make it make sense, homie. That's all I'm saying, you know? Make it make sense, man. Straight up. Al Thomas, what it do, bro? Peace, prosperity, you and the fam, man. Al Thomas said, man, we could talk until we're blue in the face, but without tangible moves being made, it's just that talk. What's the plan? I've said, and I mean it, man. And again, I don't mean no harm to nobody, man. I say one, we ain't got to announce we disconnecting from the system, man, because the system ain't never really had us connected into it. But blacks, man, need to first and foremost try to devise a political party, come up and create a party for themselves. And if that's not feasible, blacks need to separate from this system and then do with their money what they will that will help do with their money that serves the black communities, those populations that are left in what we used to call our communities. You know, do something, man, to improve the situation of those families in that community. How you go about doing that? All right, man. We have to establish a certain get down, man, in terms of finances where we make this money work for us. And if need be, since they want to give away a whole lot of money, you know, we find those grants or those programs where we ain't got to give them nothing or answer to them as a result of receiving funds. But we have to start building our own get down, man. Yeah, you're right. We can talk to with blue in the face. What's the plan? What's the plan? I say, man, first and foremost, man, we have to, one, acknowledge that we have to separate from this system because it does not serve us. It doesn't serve us. We're just servants to it. How do we go about doing that? We have to start electing and devising, creating committees, man, that serve the people. Then we have to find investments from our people to build these things, to get these things, these projects up and running so that we have something we can look forward to, that we can build on, that creates or provides for us a better situation than the government does. The government does not provide for us. We know this. We're not the issue. We're not the concern. Then we have to create these programs or these organizations that is concerned solely with us, the black people, you know, black Americans, African Americans, FBA, you know, and far be it from me to know the whole script. You know, I'm saying, hey, man, yeah, let's get to the point where we start working this shit out. Because again, we're just talking, and we've been talking for months now. I agree with you, Al, wholeheartedly. I agree. How do we then establish something that is viable and concrete that will serve us first? And it's done in such a way to where we start, our people start coming in and being a part of this thing. You know, we don't got to tell nobody nothing. We just have to go about doing this thing. It's for us to do. I think the plan, first and foremost, again, is to disconnect from a system that does not support you or is concerned about you. Okay, when we do that, what do? We can disconnect from that. What do we connect to? Each other. We have to establish organization or organizations that provide for the people, that has a certain support, sponsorship, donations coming in from the people. That's what I say. Again, I can't tell you from the ground up how to go about doing that, but that's an idea. That's a plan. It's going to take each and every one of us, man, to bring this thing to fruition. So we all have the same talking points. I hear you loud and clear. Now, by the same token, do we all have the same agenda? Can we make this thing happen? Can we make this thing work? That's on us. That depends on us. The Black Panther Party was in the same position, and they did wonders. And they did so well that those in power recognized, understood that, oh shit, we cannot allow this. We're not going to worry about that right now. But by the same token, in terms of how they orchestrated, how they organized is the key. We have to go about, we don't have to necessarily use that blueprint in totality, but it's wise, I think, then to, get an understanding of why that blueprint came up and why it was put into effect to determine whether or not it will work for us. That's my take on it. And if not, man, hey, then why are we complaining about a vote that don't matter? I hear you loud and clear, Al. And hey, what's the plan? I hear you. Alonzo said, man, the Democrats stuck and the Republicans suck. Oh, the Democrats suck and the Republicans suck. We need to get our own people in. Yeah. Excuse me. Poke Mitchell say UTG live, man. Bub. And power's in the people, bro. I said, Poke, man, what's up, soldier? I hope that your day has been a productive one and that all is well on your side of the land. There you go. And right back, Poke said, man, Big Al, man, my brother, good to see you present. And I send my utmost to you and your family. Your opinions on how to facilitate being a father is something I always love to hear from you. And here, I second that, bro. I'll say respectfully, I'm not concerned with politicians, politricks, or the vast majority of talking heads on social media until we decide to make the necessary power moves to enact said agenda. We set agenda. What are what are people, black people, to do? We cannot just sit on our hands and wait. We have to clothe, feed, and provide shelter for our families. Truth to power, man. Truth to power. And I'm gonna end. You say personally, man, I'm tired of talking. We have to start walking the walk, doing the hard work that's certainly needed to change any narrative that's in opposition to us. Peace and prosperity, bro. Thank you for that, Al. Real spit, bro. Okay. So let me throw this in the ring, man. Let me take my hat off, throw it in the ring. I know a few people who know how, who understand, and is a part of organizing the people. We can start there. I can tap into these people and say, hey, this is what we're talking about. How do we go about doing this? And are you willing to assist us and be a part of this, And if not, just what's the blueprint? All right. Yeah, enough talking. Let's walk the walk. I agree. For sure, I'm going to sit down with an individual this Saturday. And this individual knows individuals who know individuals who talk, who have the same mindset that we have. All right. So that will be, my part, and there'll be more after that. I won't stop there. I'll bring that to the forefront with these individuals. All right. And I'll keep you guys abreast. You know what I mean? We'll find a way to have these discussions, where they won't always be on a live stream. We can come and sit down, man, together and start mapping the shit out. I don't have a problem with that. I've been saying that, I'll do my part and some. I will. So just so y'all know, that's what I'll do first. That's what I'll do first. because I think that's some solid shit, man. In terms of what Al said, man, we have to stop talking. We have to start doing. How do we bring these pieces into play? How do we connect them? How do we make this puzzle come together, man, in order to bring this or have this image or this picture of what we need to be doing done? All right. I'm all in. I'm all in. All right. What's the plan? All right. Poke said, man, big guy, my brother, good to see you. Okay, I read that, Poke. Okay. My star, man, 9400, man, he sends, man, the salute right back to you. At my star, man, hey, peace and prosperity to you, bro. Appreciate you being here. This is the first. I don't recall you ever seeing you in this Get Down, man, but this is, as you should know, Under the Groove podcast. We're touching bases with the people. We're talking about what is it that we must do as a people to get our shit together. You know, let's get beyond this job, you know, this jaw jacking. We do a lot of that, no doubt. I do probably more of it than anybody else in this Get Down. But I'm more than willing to do the walking, you know, to pound the pavement, you know, to help or assist in establishing, you know, what needs to be done to bring something to our people, you know, and, you know, nothing's going to happen overnight. But let's start putting these pieces together, man. So you're a part of this conversation, my star. And this is touching bases with the people is what you chose to do. We appreciate your presence, brother. Peace and prosperity to you and your fam, all right? You know, drop your comments in here, man. You got an opinion, we love to hear it. One thing, keep it respectful. No ninjas up in here, no bees up in here, man. And we, you know, even when we disagree, we agree to disagree, but we do it respectfully, all right? Enough said. Folks said, man, I agree, Al. Trip off this AI I just read that this clown president is in the process of taking from the elderly, taking from the disabled, eventually people like my mother who suffers from dementia, and because she lives with a family member, this stupid ass president is going to take from those people. He wants to do more than destroy our history. Okay. Okay, that's where that stopped. There's a lot more to it. Well, there's a lot more you're saying. But yeah, man, on that note though, Pope, hey man, listen, these guys are in it. This thing is all about power, wealth, control. It's not about the people, man. You know, it's not, you know, and it's about making sure that they don't have those things. That's what concerns them. They, you know, they have a fear that, you know, power, wealth, or control is something that would deprive them of those things that they cherish most. You know, they just found out a scheme that he and his family is orchestrating on the IRS for over $1 billion on some bull crap, man, right? 1.3 between 1.3 1.5 billion. Him and his sons, they're trying to say, oh man, somebody talk, you know, what's the word for it when you talk bad about a person, or you defame them, or you know, you said something that wasn't true, yeah, and they think it's worth 1.5 billion. The crazy part is that the IRS is almost willing, they're damn near willing to pay them something, as long as the Trump administration agrees to some caveat they have. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. You know, now put that into perspective. They're going to swindle the IRS out of taxpayer money, $1 billion, over $1 billion. Add that to the fact that they're doing insider trading, manipulating the markets, getting rich. The son, the youngest of them all, Baron Davis, is getting rich on insider trading. You know what I mean? So we're talking about a corrupt government. We're talking about an individual who's corrupt. We're talking about the policies put in place or put there to disadvantage more, you know, more and more people, man. And this disadvantage, all it really does is pad their bank accounts. So if they stop money from going in, or they asking or not asking, if they're requiring that people pay money to take care of people or whatever the case may be, that means they're going to do that to take that money and pad their accounts. It's all corruption. Politics are corrupt, man. Yet this guy, that's how he thinks. You know, everything is, Donald Trump, he prides himself on being a salesman, a businessman. You know, in reality, he's not a good businessman. You know, in reality, but this is his get out. This is his get out, and we got to start thinking, man, in turn. Well, that's the business of the politician. That now going back to the vote. So when we vote for these people to go in office, their job is to protect their constituents. It is to not allow a president to do what he's doing, to do the things he's doing that would harm the constituent politically, socially, economically, educationally, or whatever the case may be, right? That's their job. They want the vote, but they're not doing their job. And this is what a lot of us mean by, man, the vote don't matter, man. You can give them the vote all you want. It ain't going to change nothing. But I hear you loud and clear, man. And that's sad that more than likely with Trump, in terms of how he do shit, that's going to come to pass. He pushed through policies quick. Real quick. He pushed them through, man. He do not hesitate. He don't play. Get it in there, because everything to him is a play. Everything to Trump and his cohorts, his administration, those are all in it. It's about a play. It's about money and power and control. It's a play, man. That's the reality. Yeah, man. Hate hearing that, bro. Al said, man, damn, Al, did you leave off from somewhere? Or people, let me see. Okay, I read that part. All right, Fat Rat said, peace to you, Pope, to you and the fam, homie. Alonzo said, Karen Bass said she Mexican. Yeah, man, she can say that all she want, man, but goddamn, man, the genetics don't lie, man. She can say what the hell she want, man, shit. Shit. Let it be, man. Let it be. Yeah. Fat Rat say, Bub, this is the language of revolution. Repetition is the branding iron for knowledge. One aim, one purpose, one mind. We can disagree later. As you say, focus on the focus. Well, this is the focus. Thank you for that, Fat Rat. I got to repeat that. I'm going to read that again, man, not because I didn't get it, but because I appreciate it so much. Bub, this is the language of revolution. Repetition is the branding iron for knowledge, people. All right. One aim, one purpose, one mind. We can disagree later, y'all. All right. But we have to know that we in this shit together. We got to fight this shit together. All right. All right. So as you say, focus on the focus. Well, this is the focus. And that would be, man, the people coming together, man, despite whatever our differences are, man, we got to know that we're in the same boat, man, and everything that is occurring, it affects each and every one of us. So it would take each and every one of us, man, to go into this fight. I agree with you, Fat Rat. Yeah, we're going to talk, continue to talk, continue, man, to preach, each one teach one, each one reach one, speak truth to power, stand up, speak out, man, and stand up. That's what we're supposed to do. This is how we keep it here first, right? I don't disagree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So I appreciate you saying that, bro. Al said, man, we need to be on one accord to facilitate this kind of movement. Many are in lockstep with the system because it provides everything, 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 right? It provides everything that they use, that they is used to sustain themselves in, for example, stamps, Section 8, etc. No doubt. That's the thing. And that's the way the system works. You know, it wants to make you dependent. And that is the system. The system is designed to have us dependent, not independent. Man, it should speak for itself, you know, but sometimes it's hard to see that, to discern that the system is designed to make us dependent on it, make us think that there's nothing better in play, you know. And quiet as kept, right now there is nothing better in play. The system provides everything, you know. It gives you a job to go work, you know. You know, but you know how that shit works, right? You go to job, work, but what you gonna do with the pay? You got to continue to pay to the system. You got to continue to pay to live or exist, you know. And that job also, it adds, or if it facilitates the wealthy in terms of keeping them wealthy, it keeps them rich, you know. So how do we break this cycle? I hear you, Al. We have to have something in place to where we all agree that this has to be the system. This is how we unplug. And as a result of it, when we do, we're able to provide food, clothes, and shelter. That's first and foremost. All right. I don't disagree with you. You know, what are we going to do to set that in place? How do we set up a Section 8 program for our people until such a time where they can get in, get involved, and do what they need to do in terms of responsibility and accountability for them and theirs? You know, how do we provide, you know, if necessary, assistance, food stamps, or whatever the case may be? I get you, bro. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. How do we sustain ourselves? Yeah, this is going to be, you know, just a discussion on the face of it, man. It's like, whoa, you know, it's mind blowing, you know, because there's a lot of work to be done. That doesn't mean it can't be done. You know, it means, okay, who we're going to do this work with? Who do we bring into this thing? How do we get these brothers and sisters to be a part of what's necessary in terms of getting us, you know, off, you know, the out of the ranks, off track of being on track with the program that doesn't serve anyone. It only serves itself. How do we go about doing this? Who do we need to start tapping into? Who do we need to tap into? Because, like you said, a lot of people are in lockstep with this program, man. And it's more so, there are a lot of those who are lockstep in this program who don't receive those things you mentioned. You know what I mean? Program has provided for them as well, and they're cool with it. Yeah, a lot of work, man. But here's the thing, right? You know this, Al. You know this, Fat Rat Lonzo, Pope. Ain't nothing easy, man. Ain't none of this shit easy. You know? The easiest thing we've done so far is to lay back, man, and allow this shit to exist, to participate in it. And it's really not hard, you know? That's not hard. But what we propose, what we think about, what we discuss in terms of unplugging and providing for selves, being independent, you know, or being a unit, you know, of people unify in terms of making sure we have what we have, that's hard work. That's gonna determine, no, that don't determine. It will call for people understanding that off the rip, man, that this ain't finna be no cakewalk. Because there's a lot we're gonna have to go against just to get to the point where we need to be, just to start, just to see the first trickles of our work, our effort, you know, the endeavor, you know, being in motion, you know, becoming fluid. You know, that's crazy, man, but it's the reality. That shit don't. That shit has not escaped me, Al. I'm not in the least bit naive in terms of, man, what's really required, because you know, we're talking about people in their minds, and rightfully so, who will make sacrifices, man, or will find themselves in positions that will make them worse off than the position they're already in. I get it. I get it, bro. I hear you loud and clear, man. Yeah, we gonna have to be on one accord. We're gonna have to start, man, networking and bringing these people into play, man. You know, I think that. Hey, man, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys other than, man, this is something that on my mind every day. Every day. I think I already got one foot in. You know, I can prove it. I have receipts. I already got one foot in, man. You know, and I think that it's gonna be an arduous. It's gonna be hard. You know, it's gonna be rough, but so be it. I think it's worth it. So how do we go about doing this? You know, what's first? I said what I said, and I meant that. You know, I'm gonna contact people, and let's start. You know, let's start brainstorming. We need to start brainstorming. All right, we've talked enough, and yet we got to continue to talk. You know, we have to continue to talk. So yeah, let's make it happen. I don't have no problem with it. But I hear you out loud and clear. That's what's required, you know. One accord. And then dealing with those who are lockstep with the program. Yeah. This is a battle for sure, for sure. Farrah said, man, we have every skill, gift, talent needed to nation building right here, right now. We don't have to pick up and go anywhere. Nepotism. Whoa, where's Rakufu? Farrah, let's let that be the word of the day. Nepotism. And let's let that be the word for the day. I don't see Rakufu, but you're gonna say your word for the day for tomorrow, man. Nepotism. Mm. And you know, just for the most part, I understand the definition. And instead of me asking you, Fat Rat, to drop it in there and, you know, end it with a sentence or include it in the sentence, I'll do it myself just to make sure it's, you know, nepotism. Okay. Now we're talking about, man, nepotism is the act of granting preferential treatment, jobs, or promotions to relatives or friends, often disregarding merit or qualifications. It is most commonly discussed in corporate, political, and entertainment spheres. All right. Why it happens. Okay, what's wrong? Okay. And why it happens, man. Trust. Hiring family members can offer a sense of reliability, loyalty when trust is a primary consideration, networking and privilege, establish networks and socioeconomic advantages often make it easier to get things done. Appreciate that, Fat Rat. Yeah, I already know, man. Al, like you say, man, you know, the whole get down, the whole shebang, healthcare, education, everything, man. We got to be on point, man, in order for this thing to even have some semblance of workability, you know, viability. You know, we have to be on point, man. I don't doubt that one bit, bro. Appreciate you in here. All right, Chris, man, B1 Black First. Good to see you up in here, bro. Appreciate you. Poke said, man, I'm talking to myself as well, bub. But we need to be a little kind to our people when saying or calling them stupid, because what I feel deeply about my Black peoples is that most of us are not stupid, but badly miseducated. I concur. I don't disagree with you. And, you know, time to time, I think I for the most part, man, I tend to not be disparaging or disrespectful to the people, even when there may be instances of times when they deserve just that. But hey, you know, yeah, man, when we talk to the people, man, yeah, man, let's show some respect. I don't disagree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And let's speak to people's abilities, people's potential. rather than the disadvantages of those things or that ignorance, make it seem as though they ain't got, no brain sense or brain power at all. So I hear you loud and clear, bro. Appreciate that. Folks say that's a fact, and most are comfortable with their situations, good, bad, right, or wrong. All right. Lead wrong, which takes away real thorough leadership. Lonzo said, man, I think we have no good options. I think we have no good options voting, but do we just give up on voting locally? I don't know about that. All right, then, yeah, talk about it, bro. Talk about it. I think that, see, what you do is you test the apparatus, you test the process. But I'm pretty sure all of us already know, as a matter of fact, that, hey, man, we can listen to somebody come and campaign in terms of wanting to be elected or, continue in politics, man, and they'll promise us all kind of shit. We get them in there, right? Do they keep their promise? Do they look out for the people who got them in office? That's the issue. And I don't think that we need to keep going through this cycle or this pattern, man, of really, lying or deceiving the people just for a vote. We already know what the outcome, for the most part, what politicians will do. They don't keep again, politicians it's a game, it's a con. It's a lot of things, not just that. It's a lot of things, man. But hey, if you say so, if people need to continue to see whether or not, voting really matters, then yeah, let's, all right, not accommodate them, but all right, let's go through the process and see for yourself, but how many times do we need to go through something to get the truth of the matter, to to overstand that, hey, man, okay, damn, we've been hoodwinked for a long time, bamboozled, man. When do we shut it down? When? Lisa Moore says, man, no reparations, no vote. And again, that's another thing that they play on. They play on that. They'll tell a black person in a minute, yeah, we have reparations on the table. We're working through it. We have committees talking about it. California did it, right? As soon as California was ready to put this shit on the table and make not use of it, but make good of it, Gavin Newsom backdoored him. He backdoored him. And then went on state TV. I don't know what else to call it, man. State TV, and said, "Hey, yeah, no, that wasn't gonna happen. That doesn't seem viable, or something that is good for the country or good for the state of California." He backstabbed all of them, had them do them committees and everything, and then boom, shut the door on them. Yeah. Now, reparations would be good in the true context of what reparations or how they were proposed to us a century or so ago. Give us the land. Give us the land. Now, when Al Thomas is talking about a plan, we have to understand that first and foremost, yeah, we need land. We need land because we want to move our people out of these situations that are traps. We want to take them out of that rat race, so to speak. That concrete jungle where everything is competitive, where, capitalism pits us against one another. We want to move our people to a situation where, man, it becomes a unit thing. We all survive as one. We get it done as a unit. There's no competition. There's no you better than me, or I got a new pair of Jordans today and you got the old ones, and da 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 da. Where our these cars that are decked out and hooked up, man, aren't gonna have a purpose. With fat chains and jewelry. We're talking about, man, removing the people from that competitive mind state. You know, that divide and conquer mindset. That's what that shit really is about. And get them in an environment where, okay, man, this is where we take care of each other now. What we do for each other, you know, we do for our families, you know. Yeah, reparations matter. Now let's see if the vote can get that. Let's see if the vote can get that. Let's see if the vote can get, you know, Black Americans, FBA, African Americans, 30,000 acres of land, 50,000, 100. Let's see. You know, that's the reality, man. That's what we're confronted with, man. Appreciate you dropping that, Lisa. That was something that we cannot leave out of the equation. We have to be mindful of the fact that, yeah, in order for us to even, our contemplation about doing something different would require first and foremost somewhere to do that at or on. You know what I mean? So appreciate you dropping that. Real spit. Al, man, Al is beautiful. Handsome brother, man, do his thing. He said, Bub, man, Al says, ignorance is bliss to the ignorant. Mm-hmm. To be ignorant simply means to not know. We've said this before, people. To be ignorant is not to know. It's not really a derogatory thing. You know what I mean? It just says, hey, man, you don't know something. You know what I mean? It's not really a, you know, a shot at you. You know, it's just you don't know it. You could be smart as a motherfucker, but you might not know something in particular. That would mean that's ignorance. You're ignorant of that part of knowledge or that bit of knowledge, all right? But ignorance is bliss to the ignorant. To be ignorant simply means to not know. If they knew what was truly happening, it would bother them to no end, truly. It infuriates me personally. We're in the same boat, bro. And I tell you, and not just you and I, but many of us, the shit, I can't tell you how it affects me, right? When I'm speaking about getting control of me, my spirit, my soul, my energy, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that as a part of it. I can see something that our brothers and sisters don't see, and it is fucking. I'll be ready to go, man. It infuriates me more than I know that it infuriates them because they don't really know. I'm in that frame of mind, like, man, shit. Now, I'm gonna go to bat for you. Fuck it. That's how upsetting it is to me, you know. And I'm trying to get to the point where, okay, man, I have to control this energy to the point where I'm not jeopardizing not just myself, but my family who depend on me, the family I depend on, you know what I mean, and others, you know what I mean? What good am I if I'm not here? So I have to know this shit. And if I don't know any better, then I'm ignorant to the consequence. Man, this shit is some real shit taking place, y'all. Al, I appreciate you, man. More than you know. More than you know. All right, Smokers in the house, man. Miami is front and center. He said, man, we vibrate as God's speaking in telepathy beyond frequency through source in the balance of divinity. All right. All right. Alonzo said, Bub, you saying all that, and brothers can't even trust and believe one another. And again, though, Alonzo, this is all learned behavior, bro. You know, so when we're talking about, man, unplugging and separating ourselves, man, in fact, you want to call it a self-segregate. You want to segregate, you want to, you know, I think part of what's required is the fact that, yeah, we have to eliminate ourselves from them. We have to remove ourselves from them so we can get to the point where brothers can get, you know, not be ignorant of our actions and the consequences thereof. You know what I mean? We have to do this, man. This shit got to be done. If we don't do it, then it's going to be more of the same, man. And that's the thing we're trying to avoid. That's the thing we want to fix. And it's fixable. It's fixable. It's something that can be done. I hear you loud and clear. You know, we have to get to the point where we learn or we develop trust amongst one another. to where we can depend on each other like we do on a system. We depend on a system that give a flying flick about us, man, but we depend on it more than we do each other. The system does us more damage and harm than we do each other, but we depend on the system more than we do each other. Come on. Come on, man. This is an undertaking worth taking, you know? This is worth taking. Smoke said, man, the problem on this planet is that men have a problem with accepting the fact that, excuse me, the problem on this planet is that men have a problem with accepting the fact that women, I love this guy, are the rulers of the planet and men are just the enforcers. I'm not one who had that problem, Smoke, and I will say that. Well, I've said this before. And if somebody or anybody don't recall me saying that, then hey, that's more on you than me. You're ignorant of the fact that I've said this, that our women are our leaders. They should be. That's the way it is. I think it is meant to be. And we are the ones who's supposed to protect and do all the things that we're supposed to do as men. But let them lead and guide. Let them set the foundation. Let them do what is needed to be done for us. No one can be. I think they're first. I think they're first. That's what I think. I think that all things, if they're possible, we need to go through them to get to that. That's what I think. All right. Boom. Let me move on. I don't want to offend anyone. Let me end by saying, this chauvinistic, this patriotic view about men being the motherfuckers is some that's their shit. That's their shit. That's their shit. So I'm gonna move on. Now I was gonna say, man, you're right. We've been voting for the wrong people. Yeah, and we've been voting, man, for nothing. It don't even have to be people, but we've been led to believe that this shit really matters, man, and it really doesn't. Again, I started off talking about the Constitution, how the system is, how it functions, what it functions on. It's based upon the Constitution. This concept written by rich white guys from Europe, all right, who come from a system of domination and tyranny, power, money. They found a way to extract themselves from that. That followed them over here. And, they had a little scrapple, a little scrap, you know what I mean? They won their independence. But as a result of everything they went through, guess what they went and did? They went and established the same type of politic, the same type of get down, the exact same thing, except that they were the ones running it now. What they have in place, man, does not involve it. It has nothing to do with us. Period, point blank. All they did was erected a system similar to the one they ran from in Europe, brought it here, and put under their thumb and the heel of their boot everything and everybody that was here. Same thing that was done to them over there. They came here and done the same thing. Same program, same established, same politics, same type of government. Imperialistic, colonistic, capitalistic. And it included only those who were prominent and rich. They used everybody else to get the shit done, though, while they dictated. That's what we're faced with. That's what we're dealing with, man. And our thing is, let's establish something, man, that's not that. And it's in us to do that. We just haven't gotten around to doing it, man. But, the vote, it does nothing for us. It's not for us, not about us, man, period, Poke said, man, I was texting fast, and Al, earlier I was talking about how the White House is slashing benefits or ending support to people that are getting SSI and taking from the ones who really need it, like my mom, who suffers from dementia because she is living with the family member. Yeah, man, they have no regard for nobody, man. That's a fact. That's a fact. Let me show this clip right quick, man. And I have to say again, we're not far off course in terms of what the conversation started out to be, but this clip, again, see, we brothers and sisters, we tend to go in on our own because I think that most of us, we buy into the system, and we want to pick and choose from the system that which we think serves us, when in reality, you can't pick nothing from a system that never served you, thinking that you could take little bits and pieces from it and it will provide for you. It will serve you. You look, man, it's still a part of the system. It is still attached to that which is doing us the most harm. You know, that being said, let me show this, man. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, we good to go.
The next time you talk to a black person that say, I don't vote, voting doesn't matter, voting don't work, voting's a scam, you know, politics is all bull crap, ask them this. If our vote don't matter, if voting is a scam, if there's no point for black people to vote, and if we don't really have any political power in the country, then why is it that our opposition, our enemies, why is it that the Republicans put so much effort in suppressing it? Ask them that. See if they can answer that question. Because you don't bother suppressing something that doesn't matter now, do you? You only suppress things that you see as a threat. You only suppress things that you see that, if given the opportunity to flourish, would overwhelm you. That's the only reason you would suppress something, because it's dangerous. So the next time you hear a black person say, I don't vote, Democrats, Republicans, two sides of the same barrel, all that weak, intellectually and politically lazy shit, you know, hit them with that question and see what they say.
He called it weak, intellectually lazy shit, right? And again, you know, I've subscribed to this, brother. It's kind of disappointing sometimes when, again, we get so caught up in the process that we forget what made all this, you know. Talk about suppressing the vote. Hey, man, fuck the vote. Suppressing the vote. Man, they were suppressing the people before the vote ever became something of conversation, you know. You know, they've been suppressing the people for a long time, you know. The vote is just, I think, a byproduct of all the suppression that has been, you know, directed at us. Now, they don't fear the vote, man. They fear the people. They fear us. They fear us. And I say that I think that the vote is just a distraction. Remove the vote from the equation and the suppression factor still remains. The suppression of the black mind, soul, and spirit, the body, still exists. Throughout history, especially this history, 250 years, they're going to be celebrating the birth of this country. Man, before that shit, man, we were here and there was a suppression being attempted to be enacted on the people, brothers and sisters, before the vote was anything. You know, I think it's weak and intellectually and lazy to just think that, oh, it's the vote. It's the vote. No, man, it's bigger than that. It's you. It's the people. Fuck the vote. It's your ability. It's what's in you. It's the DNA, man. It's the ancestry. You know, it's the lineage. It's the identity. It's the history. It's the fact that we are blessed, or we are fortunate. We have been sanctioned and anointed with the God gene. It's that. It ain't the fucking vote. Fuck, that's bull crap, man. You know? And I think that's disparaging to say to people who don't agree with that you're being intellectually weak, intellectually and lazy. You know, no, man. No, we're not buying into that shit. You know, that's part of it. But anyway, I want to drop that, man, before we get good, before we cut out. There's so much being said in here. You know, I'm gonna start from the bottom up, man. Fat Rap Man said, listen, nepotism, us first, regardless of anything, man. You know, we are systemized in our thinking. This is Fat Rap, y'all. We are systemized in our thinking. Remember, every need comes out of the land. Real spit, man. We have to embrace the return to the soil to provide for our needs. Don't think for one, think for all, people. That's it. Henry Cedello said, man, absolutely, brother Bub. Polk said, man, talking, communicating. I agree, Fat Rat, where we're going without it. I shouldn't have started from the bottom up, but I did. Anyway, Lonzo, what you saying, Lonzo? Let me get to the front of that because there's a whole lot. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, Lonzo said, man, listen, that's why I only speak truth, because I know most people ain't going to believe it anyway. But yeah, listen, here's the thing about when we talk about commonality, man, what we have in common, there's no denying that. So that truth you said you speak, man, that's every one of our truths, man. We have the same experiences, man. Our commonality, man, is etched in the experience we go through. We've been through here in this country as a result of the supremacy, you know, the systemic institutional racism. We know that is ours. We share that. You don't have it, and I'm devoid of it. You get it? We all had that shit. So that's a truth each and every one of us have, man, in more respects than one. That's a truth we all possess, bro. You know? And most of us, we speak truth to power in that regard, you know? You know? All right, Anthony, I see you, Antonio. Lonzo said, man, like I said, most of our people don't trust each other. So until we can trust each other, what do you want us to do? No, man. And see, we have to learn to trust ourselves. When we speak about a lot of this shit, man, we started off this shit, man, touching bases with the people, man. We started out, we wanted to run a book club. And we said, man, first things first, man, we have to get to the point where we know ourselves, man. This book was written by a brother, man, Akbar. I think it's Naeem Akbar. Know thyself. I'm telling you, man, that's some powerful shit. And when we get to that, man, when we get to knowledge of self, we learn to trust ourselves. And as a result, we learn to know our brother and sister. We learn what to trust in them or about them. You know what I'm saying? This is not no random shit, man, that's taking place, man. We have to do the work, though, bro. We have to do the work, man. We want to trust our brothers and sisters, right? Trust yourself first. Know you. And by that, through that, in that, you'll know. You'll know who to trust, why to trust them, how to trust them, when to trust them. It's real spit, man. Real spit, man. You know? Farrah said, man, don't ever stop talking. Prepare your mind to handle prolonged talks, because every act of organizing is a word first. I love this shit, man. The power of the is in the word. Nothing can move without talk. Listen, man, real spit. That shit, there's a process to this shit. And we have to accept that. You know, when I'll say, hey, man, enough talking. Yeah, I get it. Let's incorporate some action as a result of that. But we must continue to speak, to communicate. The mind is there for a reason. It brings about, it formulates these concepts, these words, and then we speak, then we act. You know what I mean? That's how that process works. You know? So I agree with both. What Fat Rat is saying is first. That's first. The words. What Owl is saying is also true. The second, action. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. But we must continue to have these dialogues, these conversations, communication, so that we convey these ideas, these thoughts, these solutions, resolutions, plans, you know, ideas, concepts. All that takes word, the spoken word, man, or written. In either respect, if you see it, you speak it. Here, you know, I see the word. Every word I speak, I see it. You know what I mean? Spelled out. That's first. Appreciate that, Fat Rat. Appreciate that, Al. Sam Evans said, man, starting our own political party will be a big move. But just imagine the pushback from our own people who will never leave this grief. But it's doable. Be one. And that's something we, again, this is why conversation is necessary. It's done, or it means a lot in terms of preparing us. So we have to get, man, we got to allow that to take place. Yeah, man, our own people. We got to, man, we got to keep our own people going to be the first ones to go against us. Prepare. So these words must be spoken, not only to ourselves, but out loud to each other. Our own people, man. We have to speak them in order to prepare for that. How can we go about this, man, in preparation to do battle against our own people, and hopefully, or, you know, ideally, not to harm them? You know what I mean? This is why this shit is necessary. Words matter, man. Words matter. All right, all right. Be the Hoover Street man said, what up, man? Bub, man, what's up? Right back to you, bro. I see you up in there. Appreciate your presence, loved one. Appreciate you here, man. Smoke said, man, we are in the middle of a transition of government. We as indigenous people will reign supreme over the whole planet as the matriarchs rise to the power of creators, nurses, and love. All right. And I think that's what we got to get back to. That's part of it, no doubt. Lonzo said, man, we have an entire organization advocating for our people. Specifically, join us and fight for our own. If we won't join to advocate for our own people, then what else do you want us to do? We putting in the work. We ain't just talking. You just talking, bud. All right, brother. Folks said, man, does voting matter more than changing laws that affect blacks more than any other race? Bub, you winning me over about these damn votes. Do a fucking vote matter? Respectfully, Rodney King shouldn't be the only event that get us to fight for our real rights. Yeah, man, voting, man. You know, you trip off how they attach civil rights to voting, right? And it again, Fat Rat just said some shit that I'm telling y'all, man, if we don't latch on and get comprehend what he said, we're not gonna get it. We're gonna remain ignorant in a certain respect. But words, man, they have meaning. Real spit. Words have meaning, man. So when we say, like, for instance, we talk about votes and how we attach votes to civil rights. We don't even know the injustice we're doing to ourselves when we do that. You know, because fuck a damn civil right. What about human rights? See? And this shit means something, man. And they attach shit to take the severity or the importance, you know, the power from words. They'll use them, and we latch on to it. We reiterate that shit. We'll say civil rights over human rights. we're not even understanding we're doing ourselves a disservice when we speak like that. You know, so human rights, if you're going to attach something, it shouldn't be, or civil rights, or vote or attach to civil rights. No, fuck that. If the vote really matters and it means something, then there should be a human right attached to it. Thereby or therefore, it can't be fucked with. It has real power and real meaning, because human rights trump civil rights any day of the week, man, any hour of the day, month, and year. Those are facts. I'm going to end that on that, man. The Fat Rat said, man, yeah, y'all, we got to get to the part where we understand that words need to be spoken, but let's learn how to use them appropriately and accordingly, because they have power. And if we're going to go about this thing to where we want to build something for us, we got to make sure our words, man, are the power, the foundation of what we're talking about constructing something on, man. This shit got to be tight. And that just ain't rhetoric, man. That ain't cap me just talking. I mean that shit. I think I comprehend to a great degree, a certain degree, that, hey, man, words are power. And we're not utilizing our power if we don't apply our words with strength, man, force and meaning, that apply. That's it. That's it. Frederick Hasby, I see you, brother. Good to see you up in this. Get down with us. I'll say, man, it's the vast majority of the BS that Trump is pushing through will be reversed once he's out of office. I have zero doubts about that. Whoa, we're going to have a debate about that, because I think Trump is up to something to where he's not going to leave office. There's a lot of shit in play. I said for the last 3 days, I've been just in some shit, man. I've been just bam, like in it. Those who run everything got a cold agenda, and they're going to use Trump to make this thing come to fruition. Because see, Trump is greedy. Trump is a little man, think he would, with big power, Trump is not preparing the GOP or other Republicans to replace him in 2 years. All y'all got to do is see the business. He's not grooming and lacing, and won't be no JD Vance or no Marco Rubio as the next president. Not if Trump can help it. Not if those who need Trump to continue to do what he's doing in order for them to really be the power brokers of the world, first starting with this country. We very well may be looking at, there's a possibility, a probability even, the last president of the United States. It all depends. Watch what's happening. Watch what's happening in the world. Watch what's taking place in America. It's some shit going on, man. It's some shit happening. It's some shit happening, man. That's all I can say. Shit. The repression of the black vote ain't even the tip of the iceberg, y'all. It's greater than that. It's bigger than that. And I think they're putting their cards in place. They're putting that shit in place, man. That being said, man, I'm going to cut out now, man. King Plus, man, Karen Bass don't even come to South LA. Yeah, when has she ever? Now come, I think she's up for a re-election or something like that. I'm not sure. But Karen Bass has never been an advocate of the people. Now whether she professed to be a Mexican or whatever the hell, hey, she looks like a black woman to me. Her genetic features tell me she's black. Now, in spite of that, yeah, she ain't done jack for us, man. She ain't done jack for us. And like I said, I can go back, man, mayors way, at least 10 mayors before her Ain't did shit for us. We had a mayor that was black before Karen Bass. And I'm telling you, man, the okie doke was in full effect, and it was made like he was doing the damn thing for the people. He did not. He was not for the people. Tom Bradley, in case you're wondering. All right. Smoke said, man, voting is only meant for foreigners. Indigenous people are supposed to uplift the matriarchs as the life bearers on the planet and establish our own laws. As men, we enforce them by force and take control. That's the part I'm talking about. Power's in the people, man. Let's get it done. All right. Now, that being said, everybody, look, man, it's always love and respect, peace and prosperity to the people, man. I'm gonna make some phone calls tonight. I'm gonna do my part, and I'll let you guys know. More than likely, you'll find out who these people are, and let's see what we can do. Let's see, let's utilize what we're saying. Let's put that into effect. All right. Let's see what comes of it. Let's see who down, who's really down. Because this is going to take a lot of sacrifice, man. And there's going to be a whole lot of fear involved in this shit, man. Because that's the way they got this shit established. A lot of our brothers and sisters are in fear of a lot of things. That being said, man, I'm going to cut out, man. I love the people. That's all I can say. I often think, man, that, damn, man, it was messed up that a lot of us didn't know what we know now, man. It's messed up that we didn't know what we know now, man. But I think there was a reason for that. It wasn't meant to be. But had we known, shit, man, there'd be so many more of us. A lot of our brothers and sisters who are not with us will probably be here, and ain't no telling what the contributions to the cause would be, to the people. But everything's for a reason, man. I think about that often. I think about it often. All right. That being said, man, the fight has begun. That's what I think. I think the war has already started. It started a long time ago, man. We're just now getting involved. So peace, prosperity, safety, usalamu to all you brothers and sisters, all right? Love yourselves so we can continue this battle, man. This battle is about us. It's not just about self. It's about us. Love yourself. Love that individual. May not know they need that love. Give it to them. And take care of yourself, man, so that when time comes, we'll be able to take care of each other, one another. All right? Take care, man. Power is in the people. They can't give us jack, man. The only time they can give us something if we willingly take it, accept it. But it ain't real. It ain't real. It means it's no good. Can't give us shit, man. Can't give us power, especially. Power is in the people. It already exists in us, man. It's ours, man, to wield. And we need to start wielding power, man, correctly. That being said, you are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. One love, Black first.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hearst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than had this and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive plot to the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and counsel any problem when the wet just wanna build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the times. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans. Turn the neck and love the durn. Suffer like the kesha. You went from the preaching up on side. It's each alone, bitch on the shit. And untrue seeing vets. Someone the very it's on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bonafide. If wait something for the Margaret to keep him from the trumpets on the boards to the singer land is carried open slowly. Keep us looking on my mother. Break your generosity for the he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.